Bitterness, criticism, night. Actually, this is the sunset. This 9 p.m. But in a few minutes will go dark. There will be lots of darkness. And hey, I don't have news here. We'll see some old news. Let's see what happened in the Netherlands, my favorite country because of architecture things. This NL Times, I guess this means Netherlands. NL, I guess. We'll read some politics from Netherlands. Yeah, I will read this newspaper. Now we'll find some newspaper from Norway too, and everything. Look, here we have Zelensky news. Zelensky with the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, the Ukrainian President, and Zelensky. I don't know where they are. This was during the war, I guess, or not. I don't know. Yeah, maybe this during the war. I'm not a Zelensky supporter. I'm sorry. The news is Dutch extremists likely swayed by covert Russian influence, energy supply vulnerable. I don't understand who is the Dutch extremists. Maybe this newspaper is all. I have to not read this because maybe this Dutch newspaper is for far right wing. Maybe the war in Ukraine poses several threats to the Netherlands. The Dutch Civilian and Military Intelligence and Security Services (AEVD) and MEVD said in a report on Monday. They raised concerns about anti-government extremists in the Netherlands being covertly influenced by Russia and about the security of the Dutch energy supply. Extremists. National security has been threatened for some time by the spread of anti-institutional extremism. This extremism manifests itself in a narrative about a so-called evil elite. The AEVD and MEVD said, I don't know what's AEVD. The group often use their messaging to allege that the elite wields their power to control common people by inventing crises, such as the coronavirus pandemic, the nitrogen crisis, but also the conflict in Ukraine. Well, I do. What I think, I'm worried because this newspaper maybe think that I am an extremist too, but well, I guess the coronavirus, indeed, the COVID was a North American U.S. bioweapon, I guess. But it's true. I guess it is a real virus, but it's a bioweapon. The nitrogen crisis, I don't know what it is, but also the conflict in Ukraine. I guess the conflict in Ukraine is real. I don't know if that means. I don't know what that means for this newspaper. Additionally, they allege that the rising gas prices are not the result of the war, but another tool of the elite's attempts to oppress people The security services continued. The report noted that the extremist groups who are against government institutions are overwhelming pro-Russian and look at Russian President Vladimir Putin as a type of hero trying to take down the Western elite. Although this pro-Russian attitude does not necessarily contribute to the dissemination of the narrative, because the Dutch are predominantly pro-Ukrainian or neutral towards the conflict, this pro-Russian attitude probably makes this extremist movement more susceptible to Russian cover influence. Energy supply, that's the issue, the tricky issue of, I guess, of the whole world, isn't it? The whole Europe and Netherlands. The intelligence services are also concerned about the Netherlands' energy infrastructure. According to the AEVD and MEVD, vital Dutch infrastructure in the North Sea, like internet cables, gas pipelines, and wind farms, are vulnerable to sabotage. Russia is covertly mapping this infrastructure and undertaking activities that indicate espionage and preparatory acts for disrupting and sabotage. They also worry that Russia may widen its sabotage plans to other vital infrastructure, such a physical threat to the other vital sectors, such as drinking water and energy supply. It is also conceivable as long as such attacks can be carried out covertly. I will show you this Brazilian news actually that they discuss. Now I'm doing some criticism. The big news, I guess, nowadays is what happened to the Nord Stream 2. I will read in Portuguese and will comment you later. What happened is this newspaper. I just think that interesting to read it because it's from Netherlands, but the ideology of this newspaper is almost the NATO, isn't it? This is the NATO newsletter. And well, what happened with Nord Stream 2? That America is likely to cover that. They don't want to talk about that. There was some leak about this whole story, and Russia was not Russia. It was the states who exploded that. There was a denounce from a journalist. I don't remember who, but I will read this in Portuguese just to debate. China apoia projeto de resolução russo sobre a explosão do Nord Stream. Circula no Conselho de Segurança da ONU uma resolução sobre o estabelecimento de uma comissão para investigar a sabotagem dos gasodutos Nord Stream. It says that in the UN, there is in the UN a commission to investigate the sabotage, the explosions. What this newspaper is afraid of Russia, but there are also some leaks, some denounces that says that it couldn't be Russia because Russia have interests. They made that Nord Stream. They earn money with that. So why Russia will destroy that? And so there is I will show you this site. This is the Brasil 247 site from Brazil, and Brazil, is not a NATO country, and I guess they don't want it to be, and the whole world is pretty fucked up, isn't it? This is like so much problems. And well, the Netherlands, in fact, they are a NATO country, but let's show you something. In this news that I just read from the Netherlands Times, they put the same all the extremists in the same pot. Pro-Russia contribute to similar. The thing about COVID, where's the look, such as coronavirus pandemic. You know, these people who, like me, that have an opinion about that, not necessarily have an opinion, the same opinion. You know, there's not the same people. Of course, there are a lot of crazy people from COVID that said that virus don't exist, that anything, but it's not the same people. Understand? They're not the same people. And the nitrogen crisis, I even don't know. I don't even know what is this. But also the conflict in Ukraine. That's a whole completely different story, because there's a lot of inflation in the Netherlands because of the conflict, and no one wants that. Just the United States. I'm pretty sure that this journal is from the CIA. It's from the deep web, the deep state. But I don't care. I don't really care. I am program. Look, they should said right there. We are from the CIA. We are from the NSA. Anyway, we'll keep reading Portuguese because Brazil is not a NATO country. Brazil wants to know the truth. Everybody wants to know the truth, but everybody knows the truth. Everybody knows that it wasn't Russia. A China apoia o projeto de resolução da Rússia do Conselho de Segurança da ONU sobre o estabelecimento de uma comissão para investigar a sabotagem dos gasodutos Nord Stream, disse o representante permanente chinês na ONU, Zhang Jun, a repórteres. Claro, disse Zhang quando perguntado se a China apoiava o rascunho da Rússia. A resolução diz que foi estabelecido, sem sombra de dúvida, que as explosões de setembro foram um ato de sabotagem e não um desastre tecnogênico. O documento pede que o secretário-geral comunique ao Conselho no prazo de 14 dias as recomendações para as modalidades específicas propostas quanto à constituição da comissão. Em 27 de setembro de 2022, a Nord Stream AG relatou danos sem precedentes ocorridos no dia anterior em 3 cadeias dos gasodutos offshore Nord Stream 1 e Nord Stream 2. Em 26 de setembro, sismólogos suecos registraram 2 explosões nas rotas dos gasodutos. O gabinete do Procurador-Geral da Rússia abriu um processo criminal com base em acusações de terrorismo internacional. This was with Sputnik and TASS. Well, Brazil is not saying nothing about, is not denouncing no one, but they want to know the truth. And looks like NATO, all NATO, anyway, they want to forget about that. Well, I don't like this journal, but anyway, I will find some Norwegian. But Norway is another country that demonized Russia. And I don't know. The true story about Russia is that NATO imperialism want to steal their oil, like in Iraq. I will tell you the rest of the story. This is a very right wing. They also worry that Russia may hiding its sabotage plans to other vital infrastructure, such as physical threat to the other vital sectors, such as drinking water, energy supply, also conceivable as long as such attacks can be carried out covertly. Yeah, in this newspaper yesterday I read some news about identitarianism, so it's the same thing. People, they say they are progressive because they have this identitarian agenda, but the truth is they are the NATO. They also no. Netherlands must continue supporting Ukraine. With the 1 year anniversary of the war in Ukraine approaching, the two security services agreed that the war and the consequences from the war will likely continue for a long time, as neither side will be able to soon accomplish their military objectives. Yeah, it's funny to think how all this stuff will end. Thus, Ukraine will lose territory, I guess. I guess Russia will dominate the Donbass. It is paramount that the Dutch stand united with the Western allies in opposition to Russian military aggression, and make sure Russia is not rewarded for its actions, despite the war's economic, diplomatic, and social impact on the open and democratic society of the Netherlands. They said, the open, democratic, and with a lot of inflation, full of inflation. Inflation explains why people get extremist, It is about inflation. The outcome of the war in Ukraine will determine our future security and prosperity. The outcome depends on the combat readiness of Ukraine and Russia, and on the international willingness to stand shoulder to shoulder and continue to provide aid to Ukraine, they said in the report. The war is not just an Ukraine conflict, but it is also our conflict. Well, this newspaper is pretty far right-wing. War in Ukraine could increase threat of terrorist attacks from Al-Qaeda and ISIS in Europe. Why? I guess Al-Qaeda and ISIS is just a tool from NATO. They are a tool from NATO. There's no relation. Well, I will read it anyway. The two security services also said that Al-Qaeda and ISIS might look for ways to exploit the current turmoil in Europe. Probably. Yeah, this is reasonable, because if you get chaos, they have this. They have reason in that. First and foremost, jihadist organizations experience somewhat greater freedom of movement in Syria as a result of the reduced Russian activities in the area. Yeah, because Russia go away, I guess. The report stated this is amplified by the intelligence services on other nations also shifting resources away from the region, perhaps reducing the pressure on jihadist movements. Jihadists who may have been hiding out in Ukraine have had an opportunity to flee that country and enter other parts of Europe. They might also be looking to exploit opportunities in Ukraine to obtain weaponry, including automatic firearms. But this is this was planned for whom give away these weapons, because I heard that the people who received these guns was not prepared to do that, or they gave gun to anyone. The problem is NATO here. Anyway. Jihadists who may have been hiding out in Ukraine, I said that. Ongoing investigations should help determine to what extent jihadist movements can use the situation to their benefit and attempt to carry out a terrorist attack, said the AEVD and MEVD. The services described the situation as worrying developments because the AVD has observed some increase in the threat to attacks of ISIS toward Europe in recent months. Well, all about this ISIS just for imperialist fault since the beginning. They destroyed Iraq, and that's ISIS began. It's sad, but it's true. Mm. I will find another news. Maybe I'm not going to the Netherlands anyway. But this extremism in the Netherlands, they are suffering from inflation. Circumcision, female circumcision. This is crazy. I will read some news from the. I will put in this video NL Times, NL Times special, because only we'll read this. This was from today, kind of 7 hours ago. Dutch schools warned to be alert to female circumcision. I don't understand that. This is the African stuff, I guess. The African behavior or African pattern. The Ministry of Education sent the letter to all schools in the Netherlands, urging them to be extra alert to signs of female circumcision in the period around the spring school holidays. Over the break, girls are more at risk of being taken to a country to be circumcised. Well, this is all about fear. This journal, this journal is just poison. This form of genital mutilation has been illegal in the Netherlands since 1993. 1993. It is also illegal to take a girl abroad to get it done, though no one has been convicted of this crime to date. Yeah, this is pretty strange. In the Netherlands, as estimated, 41,000 women have been circumcised. These girls maybe they are maybe Africans, you know, and about 4,200 girls are at risk of genital mutilation in the coming years, according to Knowledge Institute Pharos and the GGD Health Services. School holidays are a dangerous period for girls at risk of genital mutilation, according to the GGD. There are stories that special trips are offered where parents are in a resort while their daughters are circumcised. What a strange thing, isn't it? Is this true? Marieke Vormolen of the GGD said to RTL News, like news in is with a I. It's Dutch news. Parents are often pressured by family abroad to circumcise their daughters. That is why we issue special statements stating that this form of mutilation is punishable in all kinds of languages, so that the family abroad can also read it. Minister Dennis Wiersma for Primary and Secondary Education believes schools can play a significant role in countering these types of medieval mutilation. And who does that? Who is doing this? The teacher. Yeah, they don't say who is doing that. Some Africans. He didn't say. I don't like this journal, but it's like ultra far right wing, isn't it? This special NL Times. The special NL Times. We'll read some science news, because the social part of this site is kind of is they planting fear in people, because they say this never happened, and they don't say who did that, or who they think could do that. It's not a story. It's not. Understand? It's just sensationalism. Strongest MRI in the world to be built in the Netherlands. The Netherlands will soon house the strongest MRI scanner in the world, with a magnetic field strength of 14 Tesla, a consortium of 7 partners, led by Radboud University's Donders Institute of Brain, Cognition and Behavior, will build the MRI scanner in Nijmegen with a 19 million euros roadmap grant received from NWO. I will do this special from lots of newspapers like this, but I don't know if I will read this. I'll pay attention who is publishing this, how I get this news. This newspaper, because they are pretty fascist, pretty globalist. Yeah. The scanner's high sensitivity will allow scientists to image the brain in more detail and thereby better understand brain function. Radboud said. It will also enable them to gain new insights into mechanisms of disease and their treatment throughout the body. That's nice, I guess. MRI scanner will be placed on the Radboud University Medical Center campus, but it will be a tremendous resource for the whole Dutch scientific community. Our international partner, project leader David Norris of the Donders Institute said, with this new sensitive scanner, we intend to open new areas of research for the entire scientific community. According to Anja van der Kolk, a neuroradiologist and clinical scientist at Redbondung, the scanner is of great importance for researching brain disorders. Brain disorders affect more and more people. For many of these disorders, no effective treatment is currently available because we do not know how they develop. With the 40T MRI scanner, we will be able to see in great detail without needing surgery that happens to the brain when it becomes ill, even at a very early stage. With this information, we hope to find new options for treatment or even prevention on these disorders. I hope so. But I think I don't know. I guess I know everything. Let's see what disorders are these. Cognition, they said, disorders. I guess a lot of things instead of brain cognition and behavior. A lot of brain problems are caused by sexual problems. Yeah, sexual. How to say? Frustrations. Frustration of all kinds, not just sexual, but yeah, maybe this is why people go to church and they try to find some look, the crime. This is a worse or maybe people. That's why people want to. But look, this. They go to church and stuff like that, and to follow some dogma. Look, this newspaper is not good. From 5, I will give this newspaper a 1, only 1. It's a bad newspaper. Don't read it, because look, this is just crime in Netherlands. That's unbelievable. Netherlands, let's see. Netherlands crime rate. What I'm saying is that crime in Netherlands is not important. Some lot of countries in the global south, they are. It is important, but look. Let's watch some images best. I want to see some images from comparison. Look, these are some. Maybe Netherlands is not a safe place after all. Look. I guess in the capital there are a lot of crime. I don't know. I will find this and I will tell you later in the next one.